Hello and welcome to Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben and as always I'm hanging out with Mike.
Hello.
Claire.
Hey.
And P.
Hello.
Today we're going to do an anthology of the strange because it's been a while since you've done one and I like them.
And I've not done one yet.
That's true, this is Breaking Pete's Anthology of Virginity.
Ow!
It's broken now.
But I like it.
So yeah, we're going to do that today. First we'll thank some new and returning listeners from around the globe. Which is Sofia in Bulgaria, Atlanta, Georgia, Concord, North Carolina, Sydney, Australia, Los Angeles, California, Frankfurt am Main in Germany, Karachi in Pakistan, Worcester Park in the UK, St Clair Shores in Michigan, that's a new one, Edmonton in Canada, got a Canadian story tonight, actually. Yeah.
Oh, what's all that about then? Sorry.
Wrocław in Poland, Fort Worth, Texas, Bangalore in India, welcome back, Amman in Jordan, Boardman, Oregon, Guadalajara, Spain, San Francisco, California, Ashburn, Virginia, and Dublin, Ireland, number one this week. Wow. Welcome back to all of you.
Welcome back.
I read the last sort of top 10 there.
Do they really say a boot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you not watched Train Park Boys?
Yeah, and what's it called? South Park, isn't it?
Oh, what's all that
What are you talking about?
Hey, buddy!
Well, we love our Canadian cousins.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
They're the least offensive Yank-like kind of people. I'm joking.
They'd probably apologise to you. So Anthology of the Strange is where we find stuff that's not quite enough for an episode. It's not weird news. This is still a cool story, so how can we, bring that into a show? And this is what we do, the Anthology of the Strange. I don't forget what number we're on.
7.
7. Oh, they're getting like Trios of Horrors. So this is my one that I'm going to open with this one. How Pepsi once owned the world's 6th largest navy.
What?
Slightly factually incorrect, it was the 7th.
So it's bollocks straight from the straight out the gate.
When a lot of these articles were written, it was a few years ago, so things have sort of changed.
At that point, it probably was.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Where were they in comparison to the Scientologist Navy?
Oh, they had more than the Scientologists.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the Sea Org. Although I don't know what strength Sea Org is at right now, in all fairness, but back then it was, 5 ships, something like that?
Never.
So Pepsi, it's an iconic brand, it's renowned globally. Love a Pepsi, prefer Pepsi Max to anything.
Ooh.
I'm a Pepsi guy.
Pepsi over Coke, yeah.
Full
Coca-Cola, all the way, full fat.
Oh.
Enjoy your
In a
teeth
bottle.
while you have them.
In a glass bottle.
I don't hold it in my mouth for like 10 minutes at a time,
Just-
so I think we're good.
No. But could you ever imagine a company or a brand, even it's as big as Pepsi, owning a navy? And one as big as the world's 6th largest. And it is true, they owned a fleet
Was
for a brief period.
Was it powered on baby fetuses? Aborted baby fetuses?
Yeah,
No.
it was, yeah.
Why would it be?
Well, that's the rumour, isn't it?
Is it?
Pepsi's got aborted baby fetuses in there,
And that's why people like it so much.
I guess.
Oh.
Who knows? Maybe it gives it added zing.
They're the ones that like it.
What did baby fetuses
Mike,
taste
that
like?
explains why we look so youthful.
That's it.
We're just getting a constant supply of stem cells.
The adrenochrome people have got it all wrong.
It's all about the Pepsi.
So was it painted up like a Pepsi can then, these ships?
No. It's not that exciting. But it's a bit of a fun Cold War story.
Did it fire cans of Pepsi?
You know what, Mike? Maybe they could have been rigged to do that.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Like a massive can of Pepsi torpedo. You see?
You try and catch it and then takes your hand off.
You wouldn't want to drink it even if you caught it. Imagine it fizzed up your knee.
I think, like, warheads, they'd use Pepsi Max.
Maximum penetration.
Be perfect for your enemy though, wouldn't it? On a can of Coke.
Wasn't it Pepsi that did
Pepsi system.
see-through Coke? Like
No, that was Coca-Cola.
Was it?
Yeah, Coke.
Tab Clear.
Tab
That's
Clear.
I
right.
thought that was its own brand, Tab.
No, it was owned by
No,
Coke.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
I remember it being owned by one of the big cola.
I tell you what I
companies.
used to like. Virgin Cola.
Yes, that was nice,
It was
wasn't
alright.
it? It was. It was like in between the two, I think. It wasn't quite as
Yeah.
claggy as
No,
Pepsi. But
Crown Cola's alright.
It was clatty.
That was the one
Panda.
from Sainsbury's.
Panda Cola can't beat Panda.
Maroon pandas.
Oh dear.
It's got pandas in it, that.
Has it?
Yeah.
Panda fetuses.
Ah.
That's why there's no baby
That's why they're
pandas.
extinct.
Every time there's a panda
Nearly.
born, it gets whisked away quickly to make some Coke.
They were moon pandas.
Cola, sorry. Cola.
Other colas are available. That's just
Yeah.
like Champion, Coke and Pepsi and Virgin here.
That's
other,
why-
other colas are
So
available.
I thought I'd mention a good old British brand of Panda.
Is that British, is it?
I'm assuming so.
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
I'm pretty sure.
It's only owned by Pepsi or Coke.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the runoff they don't use.
It's like water.
It's the runoff. That's what it is.
If you look closer, they weren't just pandas, they were moon pandas.
They were pandas on the
They had,
moon.
like,
Moon helmets on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were on the moon,
yeah.
plotting their invasion. So, speaking of space, nice segue there. In the aftermath of the Russian launch of the Sputnik 1 satellite in 1957, the United States was looking to regain the centre stage globally and show to the world that its economical model was better than a communist one presented by those dastardly commies, the USSR.
Breathe.
So in 1959, the then US President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who met the aliens, felt the best way to do this was to bring American culture to the Russians and show them the benefits of a capitalist society. And in 1959, he's probably spot on to do that.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
American wet dream capitalism, 1959, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look,
When the
peak of their
system
powers.
actually
Look
works.
at the peak of their powers, yeah.
Yeah, the unions are strong, the system works.
It's the best standard of living anywhere on the world and ever
Yeah.
has been.
Yeah.
No one had it better than the 50s and 60s in America.
Nope, not under the
The average
capitalist.
man.
And they certainly had it better than the Russians in 1959, who were still rebuilding after World War II.
Yeah.
And to accomplish this objective, the American government arranged the American National Exhibition in Moscow's Sokolniki Park. In this exhibition, a host of American brands sponsored booths were present, including Pepsi, Disney, IBM, etc. And then US Vice President Richard Nixon also attended the opening.
Tricky
Tricky Dicky. That's how long he'd been in the White House. So, for 59, he was Ike's VP. During the exhibition, Richard Nixon and Soviet Union leader Nikita Khrushchev got a bit of time for Khrushchev as leader, actually. Him and Kennedy had a good rapport going on.
Never met the bloke.
No, historically, I mean, he did build the Berlin Wall, which was terrible, but he's been still better than Stalin, wasn't he?
It doesn't take a lot, does it?
Still better than Stalin.
How many people did you kill? Only 4 million. Oh, you're better than Stalin then.
A lot better.
99.9 recurring almost infinitely is better than Stalin, aren't they, on the planet?
Yeah.
He's up there with one of the worst ever, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's on the top 10 list.
He certainly is.
Well, he's up top 1 or 2, depending on where you sit, really.
Yeah.
Definitely ruined the name Joseph, didn't he?
Certainly did. And the moustache. So, them two, Khrushchev and Nixon, got into a heated argument over the topic of communism versus capitalism and the efficiency of their respective economic models. And at that moment, the head of Pepsi International, Donald Kendall, offered the Soviet leader a Pepsi to cool down the situation. Literally, genuinely did that, thinking on his feet. Here you go, General Secretary, have a glass of Pepsi. Try anything of that. And he fucking loved it.
Good job he wasn't Cristiano Ronaldo.
You're absolutely right. In this scenario, it's a great job that Cristiano Ronaldo was not head of the Soviet Union in 1957. Because the old history could have gone very, very wrong.
He just batted that Pepsi away
Oh.
and gone, bring me water!
Bring me vodka in this scenario.
Yeah.
He's Russian, I mean, he loved it. This publicity coup accelerated Kendall's career. He became the company's president and chief executive in 1963. Some years after that exhibition, the USSR wanted to strike a deal with Pepsi in 1972. But since their money wasn't really accepted throughout the world, the Russian ruble was certainly not accepted by the West, because you've got to keep those commies down.
God, how times have changed.
Right.
There was an issue as to how the Russian government would pay for the exchange, and that's when the idea came. Vodka.
Yeah.
Russian vodka. Under the New Deal, the Soviet Union would provide vodka from its state-owned brand Stoilichnya for resale in the US in exchange for Pepsi. You give us Pepsi, we'll give you vodka, and that becomes...
You rot our teeth, we rot your liver.
If only they'd put the two together, they would have had a perfect drink.
This stupid American, they do not realise we kill them slowly with our vodka. They just give us Pepsi.
In the fact, it experienced immediate popularity in the US, selling 30,000 cases annually in a year, and by 1980 it had topped a whopping 1 million cases a year, making it the second most popular vodka in America.
See, my plan worked.
So Pepsi getting a great deal out of
It
this.
sounds like Dracula.
Alright, Vlad, calm down.
want to drink your blood.
I want to drink your vodka.
I want you to drink
Vodka.
my vodka.
So by the late 1980s, the USSR's agreement with Pepsi was about to expire. However, unlike in previous years, their vodka now wouldn't be enough to satisfy Pepsi to continue or renew the agreement, and this was mainly due to the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, to which the American people responded by boycotting Russian products, including vodka. So they go on to a domestic brand of vodka instead.
No, they don't like my vodka. No.
But the Soviets really don't want to lose Pepsi.
They really don't want to lose Pepsi.
Well, they fucked it now, haven't they?
So they put forth a rather unorthodox trade idea with Pepsi. They stated that in exchange for its product, they would give Pepsi a fleet of ships, including 17 submarines or diesel-powered,
Submarine.
a frigate, a cruiser, a handful of ore tankers and a destroyer, hence instantly making Pepsi the owner of the 6th largest navy on the planet.
Oh my word, that's
All that
hilarious.
Seven.
in exchange for Pepsi.
Yep,
So they could have Pepsi again.
Oh.
They really
because
like
these are
their sugar.
obsolete ships.
Yeah.
But what Pepsi going to do with 17 submarines?
Well, they're going to scrap them and
Go
make the
to
money
war
off
with Coca-Cola.
that. The Coke War's just turned hot, baby. Because even though they're diesel submarines, I guess they could still technically have intercontinental ballistic missile capability.
Of course they could. It's only the engine that's running them. And the engines in our nukes, they've still got diesel engines in them
Get back up, sure.
that work all the time anyway.
Oh yeah, I suppose they would, wouldn't they?
What do you think helps keep the nuclear engine running as well, and little things like that? There's lots of little other bits to help
I
it
don't know, man. I don't
run
know.
the ship.
Don't know if I'd want my safety to a diesel engine.
You could tell if you like the old stokers used to stink of diesel.
Yeah.
They were in the diesel lab, and yeah, not nice.
But the Pepsi Coke Wars, that's a war fighting.
Whose side are you on
Pepsi,
then?
obviously.
My
Now
side-
that
they've
they've
got-
that. Your Coke, you said your Coke.
I know,
Yeah.
but now I know that they've got their own fucking subs. I think I might side with them, use my old experience and say, look, I'll captain one of your boats. I'll take on
I'm gonna go straight to
Coca-Cola.
captain.
You want to go straight? You wanted to go back in time the other week and shoot people and take over the planet.
Yeah, I've always wanted my own submarine. It was a plan of mine. I was always thinking about mutinying one day and taking it all for myself and just kicking everyone out. And
Fire the captain from the torpedo tubes.
I am clearly joking, by the way. Don't be sending the FBI round my house thinking I'm going to try and steal a sub. It's not going to happen.
Oh man, Mike's gonna be like your Sulu guy. Mr. Mike, take us out.
You're my
I'm in charge
navigator.
of the,
How much you don't mean navigating?
I'm in charge of the poop deck.
It's not what you think it is, Mike.
You can be in charge of the gas compactor then.
Can I just have the security team?
You want to be the cocks? You can be a cock.
I'll be a cock. A cock most of the time.
You can be the coxswain.
No cocks on my poop deck, please.
So what do they do with these chips then?
Well, despite the newly established Pepsi Navy, it was far from battle ready, with the ships and submarines in serious disrepair, and with only one of the ships being truly seaworthy while all the submarines had serious rust issues.
I can weld, it's alright. I'm good.
Nonetheless, the United States government was certainly not pleased to see a corporation suddenly command enough naval firepower to square off with some nations in its entirety.
They're not going to get very far with that lot, are they?
No, they're not, but it's like,
Let's
why
go
have-
take Madagascar!
Why have you suddenly got 17 submarines? Which at the time actually puts it just behind India in terms of attack subfleet on its own.
Well, it could take Madagascar.
That's what I mean. Like, what little country could just take Madagascar? That'll do. No one will miss that.
So yeah, the US government was not happy, but Pepsi CEO Donald Kendall, who had first introduced Khrushchev to the beverage, responded to America's complaints by reminding the Pentagon he'd just managed to reduce the number of ships at the Soviets' disposal by a considerable number. To quote him, he said, "I'm dismantling the Soviet Union faster than you are." Boom.
Mic drop.
Take that, bitch.
So that's an epic burn. And eventually Pepsi sold the ships to a Swedish recycling company for scrap, as the company needed to recoup the cost of shipping its product to the USSR. Regardless of this, it remains that it was true that for some time Pepsi was the owner of one of the world's largest navies, showing what can happen when a country's citizens really love a particular consumer product.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that burn. This is one of the reasons I put it in. It's like,
What product can I create that someone will want to swap me a fucking fleet of ships?
Well, the thing is,
so
Why do you want a fleet? You just want one.
world domination, baby.
this isn't actually that uncommon. Russia traded a lot of stuff with the barter system during the days of the Cold War, and so were like Libya as well would do. It's countries that are on this sort of economic blacklist whose currencies aren't really, because the West the West judges them as naughty boys, can't export. They've got embargoes. They'll barter, so it's not that uncommon. They would but you'll barter what you make.
Do you know what's funny? I'm genuinely trying to think what I can create now. That some what could I? Honey oil? I don't know. Like what bloody Ricky does in Trailer Park Boys and sells off to bloody.
I don't think you're going to come up with an idea like that in the space of this podcast, though, Pete.
Damn.
Work on it for next week.
Yeah, man. I'm getting myself.
I want you to put yourself in a room with red string and bits of paper all over the walls and everything connects. I want that.
Yeah, I'm on it. I got another 2 days off. I'm good. Happy Easter, everyone, by the way.
Oh yeah, and big shout out to Judas for providing us with this weekend.
For providing us with chocolate.
You know, if it wasn't for Judas, we wouldn't have 4 days off.
And a big giant bunny rabbit. Not freaky at all.
No. Not at all. Okay. Justin Trudeau is Fidel Castro's son.
Okay.
There's a picture there.
Is this a fact or a...
No, this is a conspiracy theory.
Right, okay, cool.
There we go, there's some pictures, you can Google this yourself. This is from the nyulocal.com/New World University. Justin Trudeau is Fidel Castro's son. We're looking at a series of pictures here.
There are similarities, I'll give them that.
Yeah, the nose, the mouth.
The face.
I think he looks like Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
With that
Do you know
video,
what?
yeah.
Genuinely, at first, I did think it was that Liam Neeson. And then I realised it was Castro, but... Yeah, but do you know what? They're completely different fucking aspectual pictures. They're completely different, so you don't get contouring or anything like that in the same way. So you could probably put 50 fucking celebrities against Castro's younger picture, certainly, and have, oh, look, it could be fucking, what's his tits? Fucking Rogan's mate, Pineapple Express. What's his...
James Franco.
That could be James Franco. Look at it. That could be James Franco just as much.
I want to see James Franco play Fidel now. One of the few...
In his younger years.
One of the dictator... That one, I do agree with you there, actually, the middle picture.
You know what I mean?
James Franco, yeah.
You could put a few celebrities against there and say, oh, they only look similar. And the next one down, fuck all. Other than the...
No, he looks like the ex-husband of Courtney Cox, David Arquette in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
But in that bottom photo where the only similarity is
They got a
the
tash.
Yeah.
I could fucking complete bullshit straight off.
Well,
Boom.
I think there's some similarities in the face.
There
Going
is.
with it. I just want to point out, this has had to be officially denied by the Canadian government.
Oh, that must be true then.
They have had to release can't trust you, Mike. Are you of all people trusting what a government tells you?
No, that's why I said it must be true.
There we go. Fantastic. Mike's on my side.
I'm not. All their politicians can never tell the truth, so...
Well, the rumour has it the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is not the son of former PM Pierre Trudeau, but is instead the illegitimate son of Cuban dictator Fidel Castro instead. Apparently, Margaret Trudeau visited Cuba at 9 months before Justin was born, had a tryst with Castro, and went back to Canada to give birth to Justin.
So there is something in it
tryst.
at least.
Say again,
Had a
Claire?
tryst.
Yeah.
So there is something in it in the sense that if it's all genuine, if that's true, not just someone's made that up, then alright, the timeline kind of
Adds up.
It
yeah.
sadly, according to official policy, it does not.
Right, well there you go. It's what I mean.
But that's just what they want you to think.
Just like the whole black flag in it,
False flag.
false flag in it, all that kind of stuff, isn't it really? None of that happened, but it fucking did.
Well, supposedly...
Kennedy got shot because of it.
Well, we'll do Kennedy one day. That's going to be like a 3 or 4 part. It'll be our biggest episode ever, probably.
Yeah.
Supposedly the Castros knew, with one of Castro's sons allegedly referring to Justin as his brother in his suicide note, saying that Fidel was, quote, always comparing me unfavourably with Justin, dismissing my achievements in comparison to his success in Canada. But what was I to do? I'm Cuban, my brother is Canadian. If he was born and raised in Cuba, he would have lived in our father's shadow forever, just like me.
Hold on, when did his father die? When did Castro die?
Not that long ago, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was in the 2000s.
was
That
under
could be 20,
Obama,
that could be
wasn't it?
20 years
You might
ago.
be right. It might have been under Obama.
10 years ago, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay.
I know you're the fact checker, Pete.
Well, alright, here's another one. Justin Trudeau, yeah, he's about 12, isn't he? He's young, isn't he? How old's Justin Trudeau?
Well, he's got to be in his 40s, hasn't he?
I'd have thought so.
I'm just trying to work out like whether he'd have had any kind of political presence when Castro was still
No,
talking with his son, saying like you should be jealous of Justin, kind of thing.
Well, Justin would be in Canadian Parliament, wouldn't he? At that point.
This is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to work out. Like,
Apparently, though, this is fake. After the above-mentioned article was published, news sites were very quick to respond, all of them disproving the theory. Fact checkers pointed out that Justin was born 9 months after his parents' honeymoon, and that Margaret didn't visit Cuba for the first time until 4 years after Justin was born. And Cuban media has yet to mention a suicide note in the case of Castro's Cuban son, but they do look like each other in some pictures.
he died in 2016,
Could it?
Okay.
so
6 years ago.
yeah,
So yeah, there's a little one. I like that. I like it's fun.
he was a fair age as well, to be fair.
There's definitely some pictures. I think that one, the top one.
There are some similarities.
The top one, I think we've got some similarity there.
Then
But
again,
he does look more like
Liam
Liam Neeson than he
yeah.
does
Then he looks like
Trudeau.
Franco, he looks like David Arquette, so...
I just,
Do you know what I mean?
I do think it's complete bullshit.
Still, they had to put a denial out. And Trudeau did praise Castro when he died.
Well, Castro wasn't that fucking much of a twat, was he? Really? He was deemed a twat.
For a dictator, he wasn't that bad, to be fair. I mean...
yeah,
I mean, well,
It
still,
sounds
still, a lot of people still got arrested and tortured
Yeah.
for their sexual beliefs or leanings.
And there was no political beliefs.
And political beliefs, but also sexual leanings. He did not like
But
homosexuals.
that happened in a lot of countries anyway, even ones that weren't under a dictatorship.
No,
That kind of shit happened in this country not that much earlier.
But Alan Turing was chemically castrated in the 50s, early 50s, late 40s.
You couldn't go into the forces if you were homosexual, and
Not if you're a friend of Dorothy.
a friend of Dorothy.
That's what they used to say in America, the American argument. They weren't allowed to ask if you were gay, they'd ask if you were a friend of
You're
Dorothy.
a friend of Dorothy?
But if you're an
No,
average...
no, I'm not. I don't like her at all.
But if you're an average Cuban, your life is a lot better under Castro than it was before.
Hey, at least you got free healthcare.
Free healthcare, guaranteed job, guaranteed house.
Tidy.
Education.
Yeah,
More doctors per capita than anywhere else in the world.
yeah.
Okay.
This was my pick.
The forgotten Italian tradition of building monumental food palaces and then destroying them in a literal Hunger Games.
What?
Alright? This is obscure. I've never ever heard of this.
Yep.
Ever.
It's from the Gastro Obscura. Atlas Obscura.
And apologies for the background noise, listener, we are experiencing a bit of an Easter heat wave. It is warm, we've got the window open a little bit, so you might get some background noise. Let's start with this. In 1768, Austrian Princess Maria Carolina married Ferdinand IV, the King of Naples, and to celebrate they had a magnificent fake fortress built in front of their Neapolitan royal palace and decorated with delicious food. At a signal from the king, a mob of Neapolitan commoners waded through a moat stocked with live fish, slipped through the mud, and grabbed all the food to the delight of the noble spectators. So they just sat in this palace decorated with food.
Yeah.
And they were like, come on peasants, attack our mighty fortress.
Everyone just runs towards the food and tries to grab as much as they can because they're fucking starving.
The event was a tradition of Naples and other Italian cities because nothing caps off a royal wedding or holiday like watching hungry people fight for food. Temporary temples, pyramids and castles are plastered in roasts, bread and cheese, which the poor risk their lives to gather.
Pyramid of cheese.
I'd kill for a pyramid of cheese, wouldn't you?
I'm picturing like gladiators. Remember, like, do you feel the power of the gladiator? That
3, 2, 1.
I'm picturing like the pyramid one where they're all running up the pyramid, sorry, but like just full of cheese and everyone's like ripping each other off it. Someone gets to the top and then they get pulled down, and yeah, that's just what I'm picturing in my head now with jet and lightning.
Oh,
Cheese.
Yeah. Dressed in nothing but cheese.
Ooh.
Cheese strings.
Yeah.
Ooh, cheese strings.
Yes, a cheese string G-string. Oh,
These slightly aroused.
Mate, I had to watch a safety video at work, and who does it but Jet?
Wow.
Yeah, because she broke her back.
Oh, right, didn't
And
know that.
she did a safety video
So,
afterwards.
We'll explain. Listeners, if the 1990s showed Gladiators in the UK, Jet was one of the female gladiators.
The
It was like
Americans
in-
may know it because
Yeah, the Americans know. You got the
gladiators.
same thing. American gladiators.
And they
British
used to
ones.
join up as well from time to time.
Maybe.
So you may even know of
Yeah.
Jet.
Maybe. She was on the originals, wasn't she? So.
Yeah, man, hot brunette. Oh. Yeah.
Well, you can say that. I'm not good
Kukanga.
with Italian. Kukanga Festivals represented an earthly paradise where no one went hungry. For centuries, European poets and artists described the magical land of Kukanga, where the lazy were king and food fell from the sky. So it was like a communist paradise.
Yeah. We're going a bit deeper into what Kukanga or cocaine, I don't know how you pronounce it.
The birds fly right into your mouth and there isn't animal poop everywhere.
This was the
I would say it's
A medieval
Kukanga.
peasant's dream world.
Kukanga like lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the dream of the common person's utopia was a little bit different during medieval times, whereas today we have visions of lands of plenty, like a huge mountain made of rock candy. The common peasant living in the muck and the mire of medieval Europe has a whimsical, satirical dreamland known as Kukanga. Or cocaine. Might be cocaine.
I think it's
I'm going for
Kukanga.
cocaine, I think.
You know, I think it's,
But earlier it
the
had,
French-
it had the other
it
other
did.
way to say it.
I think that's more the Europeanised version. That's more French, I think. They'd have been the dominant European power at the time, I guess. We saw a lot of words from the French. But not surrender. We still even saw surrender. That's a French word. Just throwing that out there. While there were many different versions of Kukanga appearing in literature through the
You
ages...
just said cocaine and then
Cocaine.
he said
See,
Kukanga.
I think we should go with Kukanga. It's obviously the natural one that comes.
Okay, well, go whatever you feel is best.
Cocaine.
Oh, damn it!
As a medieval dream world of the regular order, things were flipped on its head. In Cocaine, the poor would be rich, food and sex were freely available, and sloth was treasured and respected above all else.
I want to go there.
It was often portrayed as the perfect daydream of the common peasant, a place where the drudgery and struggle of medieval life was nowhere to be seen. However, even though it was depicted as a serf's perfect world, it's unclear how the concept of Kukanga the average person would have had. The literal land of milk and honey made its mark in the popular imagination thanks to countless poems and writings that began to appear all over medieval Europe from the 1300s onwards.
They're basically saying that their peasantry minds couldn't have even conceived what a Kukanga would have been, because they would have never had the comprehension of what could be possible. They'd have just been thinking of vegetables and fucking a sheep or something.
No, I think they work long hours on farms that are difficult to till, and then when there's a war on, you get called up to fight, and you're given a spear and a shield and told to go and kill for someone for your king. And it's a shitty life with long hours.
But they'd have never have seen
short life.
Short life.
They'd have never have seen fancy food.
No, but
so their imagination of a Kukanga would be like,
it's something.
A few turnips.
It might be different from town to town, region to region, but they've all got this same concept of this mythical land.
It comes from this poem, and we'll go for it now.
While there are a great number of versions of cocaine, the most widely known account is a poem from around 1350 called The Land of Cocaine, contained in what is thought to be a friar's notebook. The poem details many of the barely imaginable wonders what cocaine has to offer, and gives us an unforgettable look into both the nature and the satire and aspirations of people at the time. In the poem, it's said to lie somewhere west of Spain, but in reality the promised land never had any concrete location on the map. The problem is we don't know where it is, that's the issue.
Yeah.
Once a person reaches there, what will they find exactly? And according to the poem, some very strange and very domestic pleasures. After first describing the traditional Christian paradise as boring utopia with nothing but fruit, saints and no alcohol, the poem presents cocaine as the ultimate bacchanal. So this is the worship of Bacchus, isn't it? So getting drunk on wine.
Yeah.
Free of the unpleasantness of medieval life, there were no horses, pigs or other domestic animals. Not because they're ostracised, just there's nothing to shovel. You've got to shovel that shit out.
Yeah.
And you're living with these animals, remember? You are ankle deep in blood and shit running through the streets in some places. And piss.
Literally.
You are. It was an early medieval period. Everything's running down the street into a big drain at the bottom.
Probably why shoes were invented.
Yes, pretty much. Boots, definitely.
Waterproof boots.
Animals that could pose a new threat or nuisance to a medieval peasant, like a snake or a fox, are nowhere to be seen. There's no night, no storms, and no one dies. The rivers flow with oil, milk, honey and wine, and one line in the poem even says the only use for water is to bathe. Water as a beverage simply isn't decadent enough for cocaine.
I wouldn't like it there then.
I think it runs in stripes down the river.
I'm just picturing like the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Yeah.
Oh, this bit's fantastic. At their cocaine monastery, the monks spend their days flying around until being called to the ground when the abbot spanks a maiden on her bare behind. Their only concern is being frivolous and lazy when not casually bedding the nuns serenaded by convent. Is this what the monks are dreaming about? Oh, we all fly around till the abbot spanks a girl on her arse, and then we all come back down, and then we sneak out at night and have sex with the nuns over the river.
Well, they're not allowed to have sex throughout life, but basically when they go to heaven, it's a full-on orgy with all the monks.
I guess it's got to be, hasn't it? That's got to be your reward, surely.
Fair enough.
It's got to be, I don't know, I have no idea, but in the medieval mind, certainly. I mean, it's a big...
I always thought nuns were like married to God.
Yeah.
I thought that was why they don't have sex, is because they're married to God.
This is a fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not a real place. Aww. I was hoping to go there for my holidays this year. Fuck.
I like it. Sounds fantastic. It's better than the traditional heaven with Cliff Richard and fucking...
Jimmy Savile. Well, he'll be there, won't he?
Now, fully cooked larks fly right into their mouths in a series of springs that flow over precious jewels, pour forth wine and medicine. It is singly strange, but one can see how someone living in medieval Europe will be focused on such things. While it's not talked about these days, its spirit lives on in songs like the hobo classic Big Rock Candy Mountain, and even things like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Although it has morphed away from much of the cultural commentary of the medieval concept, it's interesting. It's become a kind of children's story.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like it. I'd go for that. I'd fight to the death for a wheel of cheese as a medieval person, because what else is there going on?
Well, it says no one goes hungry, yeah.
Because they're either dead or they get food.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, but people are dying, so it's not.
Yeah, but they're not hungry anymore.
No, they're not fighting to death in cocaine. That's the.
But
the food palaces, they're fighting to the death for stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, they get to go with cocaine if they do. If they do die, they get to go there. And have funny cut larks fly into their mouths. It's fantastic. I'd go there for an holiday. I couldn't do it all the time.
I want birds flying in my mouth.
you just click that.
Fully cooked chicken just comes down. You're
like Homer Simpson in space with chips.
My kind of holiday.
I suppose I could imagine donuts, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Anything you want.
What would I imagine?
I'd vary it throughout.
Boobs. I just want boobs just flying into my mouth all the time.
But you eat human flesh. What are these? Are they candy boobs? Chocolate boobs? You can't understand them as
with a woman on them, I suppose. Preferably.
You want to drown in a sea of tits.
Just generally bare-breasted women flying at me. There we go. That's what I'd like.
Fair enough. Kukanga Festivals brought the dream world of cocaine to life, but instead of paradise, there were demonstrations of wealth and power that often descended into brutality. Creating a real-life cocaine, oh man, it's confusing me, cocaine, meant displaying massive quantities of fruit, cheese, meat and bread in beautiful configurations. Marsha Reed, the chief curator at the Getty Research Institute, explains, but not all of the bounty was dead. It also featured hunts of live pigs, bulls and birds. In 1716, Bologna had a Cocagne-inspired feast of the roasted pig. Well, that smells delicious. Men with spears pursued loose bulls while commoners climbed Cocagne trees in the gardens. The trunks were covered in grease, so only those nimble could pluck the whole live birds tied to or nailed to the branches.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
The most elaborate were always in Naples, and the first Cocagne displays were more like parade floats. But by the 18th century they were stationary, and for the name day of the Holy Roman Empress Elizabeth Christina, a massive stage-like Cocagne was built in 1722. Statues of gods and angels adorned each plinth, but a closer look reveals an unusual embellishment. Studding every wall and column were breads, pastries, swags of fruit, vegetables, livestock and fowl. They were so popular they were used to celebrate everything from saints' days to royal birthdays. Nobility usually sponsored the monuments, and local craftsmen and farmers set up the edible embellishments, and occasionally fireworks accentuated the beautiful scenes, while people fight to death over temples made of food.
It sounds like kind of fun though.
It does, doesn't it?
Without the death bit, but...
They could have just handed it out.
Well, they could have just had like an old. See, if it was England, there'd have been an orderly queue, and they'd have all waited their turn very nicely.
Hating it though.
Oh, yeah,
Hating it at the same
whinging.
time.
He cut in.
This shows the sickness of the ruling elite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They could just give it to them, but they want to make them
work for it,
Yeah.
and fight for it.
as entertainment for themselves. It's a bit like, what do you call it, that South Korean show?
Squid Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squid Game, sorry.
It's a bit like that, in a
Yeah.
way.
It is in a way.
You don't have to participate though, do you?
No, of course not, but if
That's
you're
true.
If
starving.
you're starving, you're going to turn
Is it-
up, aren't you?
Well,
Yeah.
if there's like breads and stuff you're not used to, luxuries, then you got to go for it, aren't you? Because any food you've got in a stash is...
They're probably not thinking of death either. They're just thinking of filling their bellies. and
Life's
then-
short and hard for these guys. They couldn't give a shit.
Well, you get a bit of a gang together. We'll get it like this.
Yeah. Ocean's 11, that shit.
Yeah.
But it used to get pretty brutal and bloody.
Oh, so you have a couple of thugs in your gang. You have a sneaky guy. You have a smart talker.
No, I think quite a few thugs.
You have a couple of dwarves, a couple of rogues.
And once at someone's wedding, live animals have been torn apart.
That's a bit much. The philosophy was always excess, and too much was never a concept. They absorbed, Reed says, of the Neapolitans.
Neapolitans.
Neapolitans. I want to say like the ice cream, but it's not, is it? Well,
Yeah,
it is. It's the same as the ice cream.
That's
but
where the ice cream came from, isn't it?
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, the Neapolitan
Yeah.
ice cream.
Their idea of a good time was more fireworks, more food, more fountains. Sadly, there aren't many similar events these days. Well, sadly, I suppose you got food banks are a shit version, aren't they?
a very tamed down
A
version.
really shit version of it where you go, it's just no fighting, everyone just gets something.
It's disgusting, really. There's more food banks now in Britain than there are McDonald's restaurants.
Yeah, there is. That's a stat I've read somewhere.
1/3 of kids now grow up in poverty. That means they get to bed hungry most nights.
We need a cocaine, yeah.
Cocaine is not the answer.
Should we create one in the middle of Dorley?
Yes.
Let's do it.
To the co-op. And finally, for tonight,
Yeah, these 7 deadly plants and shrubs that can kill you if they're eaten. Some of them can also cause hallucinations and convulsions.
Deadly nightshade.
That's number 3.
Yeah.
So we've got the first one, it's anconite or monk's hood, or
Ooh.
another name is wolf's bane.
Heard of that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wolf's bane.
Yeah.
something to do with werewolves, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Got pretty purple flowers, but all parts of the monk's hood plant, especially the root, are poisonous. It's native to Western and Central Europe, and in ancient times, hunters would use it on arrow tips as bait to kill wolves. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty fucking... It's tragic, because I mean, I like wolves, but at the same time, it's like, that's pretty hardcore, isn't it?
Yeah. And if eaten, it can cause vomiting, diarrhea and numbness.
I'd rather the wolves didn't die, though.
Numbness, I'm surprised they didn't use that, like sort of in, use that for some sort of
Medicinal.
medicinal, maybe chew it for dentistry or something to cause a bit of numbness.
Surely someone's got to know what dosage is safe, haven't they? The druid or the
Or extract the
wise
part,
woman.
extract
The
the
wise
parts
woman.
that's poison and the part that's numb and use that.
Yeah.
So number 2 is the oleander.
Oleander.
Oleander, is that how you say it? Commonly grown as a hedge or ornamental, all parts of the oleander plant are deadly and contain a lethal cardiac glycosides known as orladin and oleandrin and nerine. If eaten, oleander can cause vomiting, diarrhea, erratic pulse, seizures, coma and even death.
Fucking hell.
Contact with the leaves or sap alone is a skin irritant.
Fucking hell.
And the toxins of the oleander are also so strong that people have become ill after eating honey made by the bees that have visited the flowers.
No,
Right, wipe them all out.
Deadly nightshade.
Oh, I've heard of this one.
That's a giveaway.
With bell-shaped purple flowers and shiny black berries, deadly nightshade can be found in scrubby areas of woodland, but also along paths and banks. Nightshade contains atropine and sclopamine in its stems, leaves, berries and roots, and causes paralysis in the involuntary muscles of the body, including the heart. So it could give you like a heart attack, couldn't
Yeah,
it?
could do, yeah.
But birds and rabbits and cows can eat the berries. That's crazy, isn't it? Why doesn't it, get there?
Isn't
They
it?
might have natural immunity.
Yeah.
Might have somehow evolved it. It says some birds.
Yeah, 'cause
Goes.
if they've been eating it for a while, just a little bit, So this one's number 4, white snake root. It's a North American herb with flat-top clusters of small white flowers containing toxic alcohol known as tremtol. It is notorious for being poisonous that can kill livestock, and even eating meat or drinking milk from an animal that has grazed on it can kill a human.
Jesus. That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get
So
all
if
the
you just ate that, it'd kill you straight away.
symptoms of milk poisoning include appetite loss, nausea, weakness, all of the above that, the other ones do. So number 5 is castor oil plant.
Oh, I've heard about this, yeah.
I didn't think that would be quite deadly, because
It's,
you use quite a lot of castor oil. don't
It's,
we?
if you ingest the oil, just straight away, it's a purgative. You just vomit and shit yourself. In the Civil War, some people were interrogated using castor oil. In the American Civil War.
Yeah, it's the seeds. They harbour an increased toxic chemical called ricin. Remember Breaking Bad? You've got that little. They created that bit of ricin, didn't they?
Yeah.
It is a biological weapon, right? Yeah.
And it only takes 4 to 8 seeds to get enough to kill somebody.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, isn't it?
Number 6, beautiful, an angel's trumpet.
Ooh.
Very pretty bell-like trumpet flowers, and they're woody-stemmed bushes with pendular flowers that hang like bells. They're prized and decorative additions to garden because of their flowers. But all parts of the plant contain dangerous levels of poison and will be fatal for humans and animals. This plant has occasionally been used to create a recreational drug. Anyone know what that is?
No.
Doesn't say. But the risk of overdose is so high that its use often has deadly consequences.
Probably one of us have heard of it, especially if someone tried a couple of times and didn't work out very well.
Yeah, risk of high overdose. It's not good.
You need
is it?
customers to come back, don't you?
Yeah,
That's your problem.
yeah.
Otherwise you're just killing lots of people.
And last but not least, the birthwort. It sort of looks like a slug type.
Yeah, I was thinking it looks like a slug.
Another name for it that everyone else might know is a clematis.
Oh.
Climbing plant. It's commonly used in traditional medicine, even though it can cause kidney failure.
Fucking hell.
The US Food and Drug Administration put out a warning encouraging consumers to stop taking medicines, in inverted commas. The plant roots and stem are all so full of this acid and therefore poisonous. Best not ingested.
Well, nature, man, it's nasty, isn't it? These are British, aren't they? These are Britain, these are Wales.
Some
throughout all
are
over.
American, but there are a few that that are in the UK.
Yeah.
I like the old Venus flytraps. Have you seen them?
Yeah, they're awesome.
Or the bug-eating plants.
Oh, it's just like Little Shop of Horrors, man. Things so bad.
Never watched it.
No?
Rick Moranis?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not usually a fan of musicals.
That's why I've never watched it.
Yeah, I think the only good musical is South Park the movie.
Yeah.
Right, and on that note, have we got any fucked up facts?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Theme tune.
Facts, fucked up facts.
Facts.
Hit us with some fucked up facts, Mike.
Grey whales have threesomes.
Grey whales, eh?
Those saucy big buggers.
Yeah. Lovely. Why not? Why the fuck not?
How do they do it? Like 2 boys, 1 girl, 2 girls, 1 boy?
I guess
That's
it is.
pretty
Maybe
good.
they mix it up.
Yeah.
That's all you fucking think about, innit?
They-
They got big cocks.
They have, so it would be quite difficult, to have 2.
Maybe they do oral. Yeah, they're mammals. They're down for that.
1 in the blowpipe, 1 in the...
You can
1
say.
in the butt pipe, I don't know.
Maybe.
Horny mammals.
To be honest, none of us here are experts in how whales have sex.
I don't know, I used to have a missus that sounded like that.
What were you doing to a thing?
She was trying to create her own sonar.
Oh, shit.
Was she gagged?
Well, kind of.
Did you meet her at SeaWorld?
You know what? I nearly considered an article for that tonight about how a dolphin killed itself because it fell in love with its owner.
Oh.
And she used to give it hand jobs.
What?
It's because dolphins get horny. Sorry, Lister, you can hear.
We've had this as weird news.
I know, but still, it was a
yeah,
proper
one bloke that fell in love with a dolphin.
No, it was a completely different
I
story.
know, but we've had something similar.
Yeah, they were wanking dolphins off in that one.
Well then.
Professional baseballer Johnny Dickshot.
Why don't they just call him cumfucker or something? I don't know.
Johnny Cumfucker.
Nah, Johnny Dickshot. Because let me guess, he smacks a ball at the bowler's dick. Or the pitcher's dick. Just bounce it back straight at his dick.
In 1940s, he declared himself the ugliest man in baseball.
No.
Oh, because he'd been shot to his house in the dick.
Dickshot. Yeah, he just seems like an
right.
alright bloke, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So,
I'd do him.
I mean, he's no
his
oil
jaws are
painting.
fucked, isn't it?
He's no Elvis Presley, but, you know,
Check out his dick shot.
Oh dear.
Only 16% of French people surveyed in 2015 said they could live without cheese.
I mean, that 16% of 60 or 16?
16.
16, yeah, I can.
And they were probably all vegans.
Yes, good point.
There's probably
No, they weren't vegans.
They don't eat cheese.
Vegetarians.
No, vegans don't do cheese.
Yeah, vegetarians do.
Yeah.
Vegans don't.
I'm saying those 16%.
They couldn't live without cheese.
Oh,
Oh no, said they could live without cheese.
hold on. Read it again.
Only 16% of French people surveyed in 2015 said they could live without
Yeah,
cheese.
and they
That
were
makes
probably
sense,
all
they're
vegans.
So yeah, 84% couldn't live without cheese. That's
Yeah.
quite high, isn't it?
Of course it is. Cheese is
and
fucking
that's 16. I'd
marvellous.
say that's 16%. A big majority of that would have been vegans.
I got you know, yeah.
And
Did
then
you-
there'd have been people that were lactose intolerant.
Also true. Did you know that you can interest a woman by giving her a piece of cheese?
Yeah, I've said that meme.
I'll give her a bit of cheese.
Your cheesy cock.
Slice it off, Pete. Slice it off.
Get me a grater.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Despite appearing in Trivial Pursuit as a correct answer, the reported fact that Otto Titzling invented the brassiere was a hoax in 1972.
Otter Titzling.
Titsling, I love that.
Fantastic.
Where's my titsling?
My old bra's called Titslings.
Yeah, surely they'd have been called Titslings if it was invented by a guy called Titzling.
Why aren't they called ladies? Let us know.
It was
what would you
Titsling,
rather?
wasn't
Would you
it?
rather have a bra or a titsling?
Titsling.
It was Titzling, you said,
Yeah.
wasn't it? That's alright.
What of it?
Titzling.
Claire's down for a titsling.
If I ever change
Go
my
to your own
name,
bra shop and call it Titslings.
if I ever change my name, I'm going to change it to Titzling.
Mr. Titsling? No. Titsling.
I'm trying to think of a decent first name to go with it.
Otto. She's come with the original. She's Otto Titsling. It's a German name. It's like a German aristocracy.
I invented a bra, don't you know?
A big Titzling.
My family invented the bra, don't you know?
Para Titzling.
Getting better than a pig.
A big. My name is a big. Big what?
Mine's Ivor Biggin, pleased to meet you.
Ivor Hardy.
Oh shit. Ivor Wobbler.
No.
Ivor Wobbly Titzling.
And we attempted a game of Trivial Pursuit, didn't we?
Yeah, it was from the 1930s.
Hey, I won that game.
He did. He picked up all the cheese. He
Better
can't live-
always pick up the cheese.
But that was
can't
only
live
be-
without cheese.
But that's only because we started playing it from online questions.
I still won.
Because the version I've got is a TV edition, and I had it as a birthday present when I was a kid, so it's from the 90s. It's TV questions, a lot of 50s, 60s and 70s TV.
None of us were born in.
Yeah, it was like
It was just impossible, wasn't it? It was like, question, oh I got it wrong.
we played for about half an hour and just swiftly gave up.
I still won.
Yeah.
You did get a couple right on the original game.
I did.
to be fair.
I did. Point that out. Trivial Pursuit King.
Can anyone guess how many bits of plastic are in our oceans?
How many bits?
How many bits?
Yeah.
In billions or what? Tons, billions.
No in number.
760 billion trillion.
I can't comprehend.
Who
No,
knows?
I don't really want to give an estimate.
They
on that.
reckon experts of 5.25 trillion bits of plastic, 50 bits for every star in our galaxy.
Oh shit!
That can't be right. Otherwise, the thing could be literally just plastic.
Microplastic, isn't it?
Yeah, but even so.
Yeah, there's enough Lego bricks for more than one per person on the planet.
Yeah, I guess. There's an AK-47 for 1 in 6 of us.
Is there?
Apparently.
That's my go-to weapon then when we have the zombie apocalypse. AK-47.
Well, it would be the ideal. You just got to find the ammunition then. I mean, it's just a logistical issue. Especially finding it in a NATO country would be difficult. Unless it's been rechambered.
We got Donington close by. They got 5.56 That's the 80s there. Plenty
True.
of ammunition. I'm good.
TA Centre on Dory Bank's closest. The good stash up there. I should know. I used to be the master of the armoury. The quartermaster sergeant, so...
Next fact.
30%.
30% of American adults would rather be dumb and happy than smart and sad. Did he say
Wouldn't
yours is
everybody?
bliss, didn't they?
Wouldn't everybody? Yeah. Dumb and happy, than intelligent and sad.
Actually, more, 37% will prefer being smart and sad.
Yeah. I guess it depends. I mean, the majority of people, because, you know, through no fault of their own, just believe everything they're told, don't they? So you just get on with it, and they live their lives in that blissful ignorance, and they just get on with it. They do what's expected of them. Go to work, earn money, pay your bills, have family, get married, go in the pub. Those who are content with that.
It's simple.
There was a,
Simple life, isn't it?
yeah, I heard a story from this guy when he was an American, and I think it was in the 70s. He decided to go around the world, and he ended up in Afghanistan. And he came across, like, he was a one-legged blind young boy, and he was quite religious. And he said he was the happiest person he'd ever come across. This kid lived in absolute poverty, one arm, one eye, one leg, one eye.
When was that, Mike? In the late
In the
1970s?
70s,
In the late
I
1970s?
don't know.
Well, the Russians invaded then, so I guarantee that kid
Wasn't
got
it
grown.
79 they
I guarantee that kid was groaned beneath the wheels on the Russian T-72.
That poor happy child just hopping along with a big smile on his face, and next thing you knew,
Splat.
flat underneath a big
Russian
Russian
T-72.
tank.
Over him.
Well,
He's
he could have
paced
lived
now, Mike.
happily ever after.
He's paced. And if he didn't die then, he certainly died in a Western airstrike.
Oh shit, lower the tone.
All I'm trying to say is happiness is relative. Sorry, Mike.
Scientists at the University of Copenhagen believe that they can resurrect an extinct species of rat.
Nope, not a good idea.
Now, they're
Yeah,
planning
man.
not to do it because, quote, probably the world doesn't need any more rats.
Yeah.
We don't need dinosaurs just before you get that idea either.
You know what? Me and Mike
Dude,
are watching.
raptors.
Me and
We
Mike
need
are
'em.
working our way through the Jurassic Park movies. It's all a terrible idea.
Oh, it's brilliant.
After
idea.
watching the first 3 so far, it's not a good idea to bring anything back.
The Spinosaurus T-Rex fight is amazing though.
It is.
Oh,
Or
no, it
T-Rex.
just gone too short, doesn't it? He just snaps his neck.
Yeah, it could have gone on a bit longer.
Still good.
That's why I haven't hated that film, because the T-Rex was killed off pretty early.
I think that 3 is better than 2. Because 2 involves a lot more animal cruelty
2 and
from
1.
humans.
Sorry, 3 and 1 is an amalgamation of the book.
Yeah.
If you ever read the book,
Yeah, I've read
the book is
original.
like halfway between 1 and 3. 2's nothing to do with it.
No, it's not. It's not. It's completely out of some story arc.
But yeah, the book is fantastic. If you ever get a chance to read it, read it. But yeah, really good. I've always liked all of them.
I think 3 is better than 2. I know Pete Postlethwaite is
No, I'll
great.
agree. I'll agree with you.
Pete Postlethwaite's great in that movie. But at the same time, they're
Local
like
boy.
They're they're caging dinosaurs and electroshocking them.
What about the bit where they're going for the long grass?
That's pretty sweet. But at the same time, I don't like to see the animal cruelty.
Don't go into the long grass.
Animal
Yeah.
cruelty.
I don't like to see the animal cruelty.
Those poor robotic animals.
It's a movie, I'm sucked in. I don't want to see a baby stegosaurus getting cow prodded.
No.
I don't want to see that.
Nobody
It's
wants to
sweet.
see that shit.
I'd have that as a pet. Any day of the week, wouldn't you?
Until it outgrew your living room.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're trying to build up that sort of
Well, in the
angry
book,
vibe against the big
They want-
corporation.
in the book, they're trying to miniaturise.
They are, yeah.
They miniaturise an elephant. This is kind of where it starts. They actually, John Hammond miniaturises an elephant. If I
Oh,
remember,
I have one of
Is
them
that-
as a
is that-
pet.
Damn right.
And the whole point is, they've then created dinosaurs. So, kind of without saying it, where it could be going is the miniaturisation.
Yeah, so you have a little baby
Dinosaurs.
Triceratops or little baby T-Rex.
And
Keep
this,
them in vivariums.
well, it was like the size of a dog, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
elephant. So you could imagine how small you could make a T-Rex.
Still have your kid's arm off.
Nah, because that put your gene editing to the point where you're taking out the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
You're pinpointing genes at that point. He's already made them smaller.
You should almost maybe make it a bloody vegetarian kind of, you know what I mean? If you
feed it sushi and that's it.
But you could certainly have like a miniature raptor the size of a chicken.
Yeah.
Little chicken raptors running around.
Oh, that'd be terrifying.
Taking one of them for a walk on your lead.
I actually think they weren't that much bigger than chickens in real life.
No, they
Really?
were.
No, the raptors in Jurassic Park are nothing like the raptors in real life.
No, they were.
had feathers
They were
as well.
feathered, but they were about 6 foot tall.
I thought they were smaller.
No, they were about 5 to 6 foot tall. I've got a few really
Yeah.
good dinosaur books at home. Like one's
He's-
from about 30
In all fairness,
years
how old's
ago.
your son?
Huh?
How old's your son, Pete?
He's 6.
So he's
nearly.
dinosaur.
Oh, he's dinosaur
Yeah.
crazy. So we've got.
At the
we've had-
moment,
well, this is where I've got a Now Time dinosaur book. So I got one from when I was a kid, which is really still good because when I compare it to the Now Time
Yeah.
ones,
Now a time.
Now a time.
the
present.
nowadays. Yeah, but we're talking nearly 40 years ago.
Yeah.
The book that I would have had, that would have been
Yeah,
like 40
I know
years
you say,
ago.
I had really
technology
old. I
and
had ones from
knowledge.
the 60s. From the charity shops.
So the technology and the knowledge of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
40 years on, it's grown a hell of
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, of course it does, yeah.
And there is a lot more corrections in it, like you were just saying about the Velociraptor. It was not quite like what they showed in Jurassic Park, but it was actually feathered, and it was a bit scrawnier, the snout and things like that. It had a bit more of a beaky kind of.
It wasn't the killer they made it out to be in Jurassic
Not
Park, was it?
necessarily.
It wasn't the
Did it still have that nice smile?
kind of girl.
and it still had the it still had the nasty claw.
Yeah. Well, without the claw, it's not a raptor, is it?
Nah.
Well, that was only the Velociraptor that had that claw. 'Cause there was a few
Other
different
raptors,
raptors
yeah.
as well. The Endoraptor.
Yeah, it's true. There's different ones, and so
Yeah.
Still, I love that scene.
Did nobody get that? The Endoraptor.
What?
Endoraptor.
Yeah, isn't that the one from the latest Jurassic?
Oh, no, I
wasn't
haven't seen the last one.
Oh, it's the new hybrid they made.
Alright. Because let's take an existing deadly animal and make it more deadly.
That's what they did in Jurassic
Well, no,
Park
because it
3.
was the Indominus Rex mixed with a raptor.
Oh, Christ almighty. Why would you do that?
Because they were fucking mental, clearly. I think it might have even had a bit of something else in it as well. But yeah,
Does your son like the Jurassic Park films?
loves them.
Yeah, I
Loves
them.
them. I loved
I
them
loved
as
them
well.
as a kid, yeah.
I went to the cinema on.
Yeah, me too. I was about
It
9,
was just after my birthday.
10. No, it would have been 10, 11.
It was released just after my birthday, and then they released the Jurassic World at the same time as they released
They
the
did,
120.
yeah.
Because it was like, and it was funny because I went and watched it for my birthday, and it was like 20 years later, and I'm doing exactly.
Wow.
It was weird, and I came out with just as big a smile, kind of thing.
I don't know, I watched the first one of the new ones, that's all I've seen, but it was a bit crap.
You have to watch it twice.
Well, we're going to watch it again.
Yeah.
The second time you watch it, you enjoy it a lot
Yeah, I've
more.
only seen it
Yeah.
once, to be fair.
I didn't make it all the way through, in all fairness. When they turned on the gas-powered Jeep that still worked first time, took me out of it a little
The
bit.
best bit of the film for me was when the theme park, all the dinosaurs were attacking them, and that was the best bit.
That
for
was
me.
kind of cool, actually.
Best thing for me was when Claire got her top wet.
Yeah. Well, moving on. Next one, Mike.
Final fact of the evening. In early drafts of Lord of the Rings, Frodo was named Bingo.
And Bingo was his name.
Bingo Baggins.
I'm glad they
You know, I've got to
changed
watch them films.
Hobbit
again.
feet 11. The legs 11.
Yeah.
But they didn't actually have big feet like that in the
No.
books, no.
They had hairy feet.
They had hairy
But
feet.
they weren't big.
No.
I think the only reason they were big is because they had to wear things on their feet. So they had to have like prosthetic feet over their feet, which is why in the film it made them look like they had big feet, because they couldn't just have them running around in bare feet.
Gotcha.
They had to give them prosthetic feet-shaped shoes, so it naturally made them look bigger anyway. And I think they just had to go with it. That's the only
Maybe,
that's
yeah.
the only
Could be
reason
something like that,
why.
I guess you go. Yeah, I've got to rewatch that movie. Actually, you know, I've
What
been a long
Hobbit?
time since I've seen them. No, I
Lord of the
didn't-
Rings.
Should I start from The Hobbit and work
Yeah.
them all?
Yeah.
But remembering that The Hobbit is nowhere near as good as Lord of the Rings.
So start with the three. Did you do three of them?
Yeah.
I might have to do it.
I did it recently.
All right, I'll try it. I'll give it a go. And also, let's just have a quick chat briefly. The Jimmy Savile documentary on Netflix.
Watched it.
We did an episode on Savile many years ago, a Christmas episode, because that's what we do at Christmas. Make it as dark as possible.
Doesn't get much darker than Savile.
We didn't sort of uncover anything else we knew differently about him, and the guy was a manipulating, tricky bastard.
What it did, it highlighted all those years of how the fuck didn't we see it?
Yeah, the one scene for me, my God, it sticks out. I hadn't seen it, that was the thing. Because he used to do the portrait thing at Stoke Mandeville Hospital, he raised all the money for me. He was given free reign to the place. And there's this girl in bed, like, she can't move, she's got a spinal injury. And she's drawn this picture of him as a fucking demon. And he's like, oh no, what have I done to you to be drawn like that? And she goes, everything. And you're like, oh, Jesus.
He laughs it off.
And he laughs out, oh, I pushed you down to the entertainment room the other day, I do everything for you, exactly. And you're like, oh, fucking hell. What had he done to that poor girl who's may not still be alive at this point? We don't know. I mean, she was in a pretty bad way then.
I knew he'd been in the mental hospital. I didn't realise he'd been in the normal hospitals as well.
But then he raised all that money for him, because he bought them effectively a new wing with all this new equipment. They're like, yeah, of course you can come. And he did for 28 years. And no one's questioning the guy because he does all this fucking charitable work.
It's all a front, wasn't it?
It's all the front, just to take the diversion away. If he hadn't done that, people would have been on him. But he couldn't say, he's raised 10 million quid in 1980s money for charity.
It was religiously motivated as well, wasn't it? Like, you know.
Yeah, he wanted to balance out his sins, didn't he? Because he was devout.
He was hoping doing all that good would make
the
sins that he committed not as bad and still get into heaven.
Not a fucking seesaw, is it?
And I'm sure if... Well, saying that, let's think about it like this. Catholicism and paedophilia. If all the fucking big archbishops and bloody... all these big people within the Catholic Church are known to have been a bit with kids, then maybe Catholicism doesn't particularly frown on it. Maybe they're you know, I don't know.
Well, it's if you repent of your sins at the end, don't you? You go to heaven.
But this is what I mean. Is it deemed that you can get away with all this shit? So making out that you're Catholic, you're gooder than good, is bullshit, because you just repent for your sins and nobody knows any.
You're all
on the wiser.
Remember, in Catholicism, you're all born with guilt, aren't you? And all your life you spend resolving that guilt, and that's why you have to confess your sins. There's obviously some sins you don't confess. I very much doubt he ever confessed that to anyone at the church, you know, even though it says, you know, we don't tell. I think in that scenario they have to, don't they?
The whole point of confession was a power trip. It was to gain information about powerful people and hold it over them. Think about all the secrets that they can learn.
That's it, so your priests become spies in that scenario, don't they? But no, Savile, it was just, like you say, he had the ear of the royal family. Yeah. He was like advising Charles and Diana.
I wonder if he was advising Prince Andrew.
Possibly
taught him everything he fucking knows.
Well, that's where it leads on to another thing. Was he procuring kids for these powerful people?
I think he was. That's why
they protected him.
Yeah.
I think that's why because he was given a knighthood.
He knew who the paedophiles were in the establishment.
Yeah, I think
that's why they knighted him and everything.
This is why you'd take 3 of them away on an evening. It wasn't all for him, perhaps.
That's it, but these guys like move from town to town. I'm not chased out by the brothers, husbands and partners.
But then there was no allegations.
I was like, oh, that's so creepy, isn't it?
But there was no allegations of anybody else. It was all Jimmy Savile did this to me. It wasn't like Jimmy Savile gave me to Gary Glitter or...
No, I know what you're saying in that.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe...
But who knows where the kids who went... Because you can't have that link back, who's to say that the kids who went to the higher-ups weren't killed? There's always so many hundred people a year in Britain.
There were cases of people saying, look, they told, like, it was a friend that was being the witness for him because they'd died years prior and things like that. So who knows whether they died under mysterious circumstances because Savile and his fucking royal gang had kind of
killed them in a satanic sacrifice.
Yeah. That's going a bit far.
Sorry, I got drawn into that then.
There may have been threats or something saying, "Oh, I'm going to come out and tell everyone about what you're doing,"
No, I
and then
think
they
he
all
was like
disappear?
that brazen with it. The women thought it was, oh, this is only me, you know, so they didn't come forward.
Well, it sounds like that is the case, isn't it?
There was one story I heard. He was caught one night by a police officer parked up with a young girl, and he's like, you know, is she alright? How is she legal?
Yeah.
And he said, oh yeah, in a couple of hours she will be. It's her birthday tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, that
You know what I
tale.
mean?
Yeah, that was
15-year-old
on there.
and she's 16 tomorrow, so she's legal, so you can fuck off. He's a police officer.
Yeah, but he had mates in the higher ups in the Leeds police force.
Yeah.
So any allegations did come his way. Oh, Jimmy couldn't do that. He's raised 10 million quid for charity. He runs marathons. Built a new wing at Stoke Mandeville Hospital.
Yeah,
Guy's whiter than white, isn't he? Like, oh, how fucking mad did he dress?
Yeah.
How awful was he? Just looked creepy as fuck constantly.
Kind of liked his sense of style.
And
joking.
he was like 79 and wearing pink fishnet tops and gold hot pants.
Did you see him when he went on to Big Brother?
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't watch Big Brother.
No, you saw it on the documentary.
I saw it in the documentary, yeah. And they all loved him.
Yeah.
We all did though. Still, that's the worst thing. When I remember
when he
watching
died
it and
and
being
that-
like, "Oh, fucking legend!"
That bloke at the funeral was like, oh, Jimmy, he's pure class. Pure class, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy.
Of
A
course.
few months later,
That was his public persona,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
see, everyone did love him as a kid. Like I said earlier on, off air. As a kid, we watched Jim Will Fix It. That's how
Yeah.
we knew Jim as he was the nice guy who would do anything for anybody. You wrote him a letter. If you were selected, he'd fix whatever.
20,000 a week.
You could literally ask him
Letters.
if he could fix something for you. It was a bit like a Make-A-Wish Foundation in
Yeah.
America. Kind of like that. He would grant you your wish for the day.
Yeah, but he looked like everybody's weird uncle.
Yeah, he flew a
Weird,
little
of
girl.
course, an understatement.
He flew a little girl out to India or something, didn't
Israel,
he?
India and Israel.
To make her a princess for the day and things like that. He gave a duck a fucking aeroplane flight because
He
his
couldn't
duck
fly.
couldn't fly. You could tell the owner was a young lad, and he could always tell his duck wanted to fly, but never could because he's.
That's it, it was just random shit like that, wasn't it? So they could easily.
He raised 10 million for that Stoke Mandeville Centre.
We had built a new
raised-
hospital wing.
Yeah.
He raised 40 million in the end.
Didn't
Yeah, but that was enough to get that first phase done.
Yeah.
Incredible. But he had us all under his spell. He fooled a nation.
Yeah.
he? He used to joke about it, didn't he?
Not just a nation.
And he used to drop hints all the time. So like, someone would ask him about his love life, and he'd say, oh, I'm not saying, but the court date's on Thursday. That was
Yeah.
his thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
The
He
court date comes up
he used to
Thursday.
say it a lot as well.
Yeah.
And it's only looking back now, knowing
in
what we
hindsight.
know, it's like, how the fuck didn't we see this dirty bastard for what he was at the time?
Yeah. But it was covered up as well, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
he was never allowed anywhere near children in need. Because they all knew about him. They just never covered. But nothing was ever covered. He was protected. Thatcher's got his ear. The
Yeah.
royal family's got his ear. He's now a sir.
He's been made a knight, yeah,
Can't
knight
let
of
this
the
shit
realm.
come out. Well, they protected him, didn't they? So none of it would come out.
He had lots of celebrity friends as well, that's the other thing. He
Yeah.
had lots and lots of celebrity friends like the Beatles. And these are
He
just like
introduced the
little
Rolling Stones, the Beatles,
Elvis
right? Yeah.
Presley.
You know, Elvis is a bit fucking iffy when it comes to young girls.
Yeah.
15
I bet a lot of
year-olds.
them are, to be fair. But
Yeah.
anyway, should we call that an episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Finish on a high note, eh?
Yeah. Thanks for listening. I'm Ben. Don't do the favour, don't join a cult. Follow us on Facebook at Cutting the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse, SoundCloud at Cutting the Bull in the PTA, and YouTube Apocalypse Bull. Give us a like, a subscribe, and tell us what you'd like to hear in the future.
Yeah. I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out, may the force be with you.
I've been Claire, keep an open mind, but not so open that it spills out your ears.
And I've been Pete. Aim high, shoot low.